night. Hi, Mom Faith. Happy birthday. I go live every Friday night on my YouTube channel called Sale, which is Surviving Abuse in Life. And abuse just isn't physical. Abuse is verbal and mental, and mental health comes in, by the way. So last week and this week, we are discussing manipulation. So I want to do a recap real quick on last week. So we talked about what manipulation is, what is persuasion, what does it mean to manipulate others, what does it mean to be manipulated, and what is a generalized maze of manipulation. Right now, what I'm going to go over. Okay, so we've done that one too. So we've talked also about the characteristic methods of manipulators. Now we're talking about the causes of being manipulated. So can anyone tell me why people manipulate others, or why you think people manipulate others? Control, that's a good one. To get what they want. I don't think respect is one of them. Make them feel bad, right? Make them feel guilty. Gotcha. Anyone else? So this is what the book says. People manipulate others to make them feel guilty, present reality the way they want others to see it, get others to believe what they want them to believe. It's like saying the sky is purple when it's actually blue, or it's gray because it's raining, but they say, no, it's sunny. It's not raining, it's sunny. And then you have to look going, no, it's, you know. It also says that they control others to protect themselves, fearing being taken advantage of, to get their way. My ex was great at getting his way. Holy smokes. People manipulate others to maintain a dependent relationship, even when their friendship is unhealthy, or in my case, marriage. Has anyone ever maintained a dependent relationship, like you were dependent on someone? I know I did. I was dependent on my ex-husband for years because I believed everything he said. I believed that I couldn't survive on my own. I believed that I was not a good enough mother to raise my children on my own. And so I was dependent on him. I believed that he had to be in control of all the money. What a fool. All right. People manipulate others to avoid having to meet their own obligations and responsibilities in life. They appear positive when they actually feel negative towards someone. People manipulate others to rescue them or clean up after their problems. Oh, mine did that all the time. I always had to rescue him. When I had left him and I had filed for divorce, he actually had the audacity to call me at like 1 o'clock in the morning, telling me that his new girlfriend's new boyfriend beat the crap out of him and I had to go to the hospital. And I went, no, I don't. He wanted me to rescue him again, and I was not doing it. And then he tried to make me feel sorry for him. So that's another one. It says, make others feel sorry for them and take responsibility for them. And I refused to do it. I was done. Stick a fork in me. I was done, right? People manipulate others to intentionally confuse others with unclear messages. I love you, but I'm going to treat you like crap because I can. But I love you. That's not love. People manipulate others to get others to do for them what they would not otherwise choose to do. Get away with not having to meet their own obligations in life and keep them from moving away from the relationship. My ex did everything he could to make sure that I stayed in our marriage. People manipulate others to get others to feel responsible for them or for their welfare. My ex would always quit a job after not even a full 3 months. So my money paid all the bills. I had to have a job outside. And that's when I started realizing that the marriage I was in was not a good, healthy marriage. It just took a little longer for me to get the courage to leave. People manipulate others to control the emotions and reasoning of the ones being manipulated. And people manipulate others to win the battle for control. So there's a scripture, Jeremiah 17:9, it says, the heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? So why would someone succumb to manipulation? What do you think someone would allow manipulation to happen? Low self-esteem is a good one. Scared of being alone. In my case, abuse is all I knew because I grew up in an abusive home. So when my ex came along and I was a tender age of 17, I really thought he loved me. I really, truly did. I thought he cared enough for me because it didn't matter what happened in my past. Now, mind you, I didn't hear everything except the L word, love, right? So why would someone succumb to manipulation? So this is what the beginning part of it says. It says, after succumbing to manipulation, Adam and Eve sew fig leaves together for clothing, uneasy with their nakedness. They hear the Lord walking in the garden. Rather than respond to him, they hide from him. Now, I don't care if you know the Bible or not. That's not the issue. The issue is that they were deceived by Satan to eat of the fruit of the good and knowledge, and that they would not die, but they would die a physical death. And so it says here, the silver-tongued snake manipulates the first pair with a promise. The forbidden fruit will make them wise. And what really happened, if you think about it, they didn't become wise. I mean, they knew they were naked, right? They didn't really become wise. They merely became weak-minded. If you think about that, because they knew they were naked and they had to hide. They couldn't, show themselves to God naked. And so now all of a sudden they're weak-minded, whereas before it didn't matter to them if they were naked or not. It didn't matter. So it says that typically the manipulated don't understand why they are so easily manipulated. They fail to realize that it is as simple as choosing to whom they will respond, the manipulator or their maker. So typically they have a combination of the following. So the first one is a misplaced dependence on the manipulator. So it says, I must have you in my life. I need you to give me meaning and purpose to my life. And I have to have your approval in order to feel significant. Some of these fit my ex very well. Or they have a solution, right? Here's a solution for it. It says, stop trusting in man who has but a breath in his nostrils. Of what account is he? And that's Isaiah 2:22. Or they have misplaced priorities. What others think is more important than anything else. And I was always taught that. It was like drilled into my head. You have to watch the people around you because what they think matters. Because we don't want to have our good name ruined, right? Don't put our name through the mud. Misplaced priorities. So the judgment and opinion of others takes precedence over my own. Guilty of that. Exactly, Matthew. They listen to the creator of ants instead of their creator. That's correct. The end justifies the means, even if it involves violating my conscience. Says the solution to that is I strive always to keep my conscience clear before God and man. That's Acts 24:16. So another reason why people are easily succumbing to manipulation is because fear of disapproval. They don't want to have anyone disapprove of them, right? It says I can't say no for fear of making someone angry at me. That has always been drilled in my head. Don't make me angry. How about being afraid of being rejected? Is anyone here afraid of being rejected? I am. I don't like being rejected. It really hurts. People pleasing, yes. It says I can't take a stand against someone whose approval I need. But here's the solution to all that. I get it. The solution says in Isaiah 51:7-8. Do not fear the reproach of men, or be terrified by their insults. For the moth will eat them up like a garment, the worm will devour them like wool. But my righteousness will last forever, my salvation through all generations. Find your higher power. Mine's God. Find yours. And realize that, in my case, I'm going to use God because that's what I believe. I'm not here to push on you guys. I want you to know. Oh, you know what? I skipped over something like totally important. So I'm going to stop it and say it right now. My name is Llewellyn, and I am not a professional. I am not a counselor. I am not a therapist. I am not a doctor. I cannot diagnose anyone, nor can I prescribe medication. I am not perfect. I am a child of God. And I am here to help you by giving you what I know. And sometimes I have to do research on it. So I just want you to know that this is not me knowing everything because I don't know everything. Sometimes I have to do research. So back to the book now. Find your higher being, your higher power, and get right within yourself. That's so sweet. Twice weekly medication. When you, and I'm guilty of this too, when I learn to love myself unconditionally, when I learn to accept myself unconditionally, when I learn that, I won't need your approval. But I'm not perfect. And I'm still learning just like you're learning. No one ever said it was going to be easy. I'm telling you right now, no one ever said that changing your thought process and your mental health is ever going to be easy, because it's not. Is it doable? Yes. One way that I strongly recommend is journaling. Journaling will help you get those ants out of your head, the automated negative thought syndrome, ants. And you can journal by writing, typing on a computer, like a notebook or something on there, Word, whatever you use. You can do videos. You can take a recorder and record your voice. Whatever you need to do, journal your way that works for you. Now, what I do for me may not work for you, and what you do for you may not work for me. But it's always nice to know that there's options out there to help one another. All right, so another way that we succumb to it is performance-based acceptance. I am accepted only because of what I do. Now, I know that's not true. I know that's not true. I have value only if my work is acceptable. Oh, Lord have mercy. That one fits me like perfectly. So many of you know that I do laser engraving, sublimation on cups and t-shirts and hats and, stuff like that. And I place too much value in the work that I do instead of value in myself and God. And I am so guilty of that. So guilty of that. Next one says, I have worth only if I please others. Anyone else fit these performance-based acceptances? Leads into abandonment issues. Yeah. So I want you to know that you are not alone. In this mental health support group community, you can join my group. We don't always talk in there, but you're more than welcome to talk in there. You're more than welcome to join. And it's hard. It's hard to reach out to people and say, hey, I need help. It's hard. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you need to do it. Your life is worth it. Just saying. Okay, so the solution is Luke 12:7. The very hairs of your head are all numbered. Don't be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. I mean, think about it. I mean, if God gives the birds food and he says that we are worth more than many of the sparrows, so you think that gives us a lot of worth in his eyes, right? All right, so another way of why people would succumb to manipulation is defensiveness about the relationship. Defensive. It says, I am not seeing objectively that the relationship is unhealthy. I am so guilty of that one. I was told by him so many times that they're trying to come between us and they're trying to separate us as a couple. Instead of allowing me to be with my family, he made it so that way I could not be with my family. I shunned them all. Instead of allowing me to have friends, he would tell me that my friends wanted him and would make me feel jealous. Yes, blinded by love. Exactly. That's a good way of putting that too. And so I was never alone because I had him and he was the only one I needed. His words, not mine. I mean, it took a long time to realize that my relationship with my ex-husband was not a very healthy one. In fact, it was like total opposite. I felt like I was in hell most of the time. I felt like you had eggshells and I'm walking on them and just one little crack and bam, I'd get beat. And it was like that every single day. When he would be gone at work and I had the time with the kids and I would turn the music on and we'd dance goofy and we'd make forts and stuff. And if he came home early and saw that, he would yell at me, you need to act your age. You can't act childish. We had children. We're supposed to act that way when you have kids, right? Give them a childhood that they can enjoy. But he never saw that. And of course, he will always say they're talking about him. They're using him. Yeah. Right. Who is they? 90% of it's in their head. You've been attacked with sleeping well. Yeah. It didn't matter if I was sick or not. I still had to get up. Yeah, well, I couldn't with my ex. I couldn't have fun with them because if I did, I got punished physically. Sometimes he would make it so I wouldn't eat for a day or two. He would limit me to my food. I could have water, but he'd limit me to eating food. He was that controlling. The next one is I'm not facing the need for a change in the relationship. Oh, I wanted to face it, but I was scared. Do you know that change is scary? Who here stayed because they were scared of change? Me. I was scared of change. I did not know what was outside my marriage. I had no clue what was out there. And he made it seem worse. You're a lot braver than I am there, girl, for feeling the fear and going for it anyway. I was abused growing up as a child, and so I was always limited of what I could and couldn't do. I was under their control, and then I was under my ex-husband's control. I was married for 13 and a half years, had 3 children by him, and divorced him 23 years ago. And my current husband and I have been together, married for 21 years, together 22. He adopted my 3 children, and I am in the best marriage ever. And it took me a year to even think about dating. And even then, it wasn't even my idea. My sister, long story on that, but I'll tell you that another time. The solution, it says for Proverbs 29:25, fear of man will prove to be a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe. I've said that too, and then I got married. Loss of independence. Now, I never had any independence. I was always under someone's thumb, whether it was my egg donor and her husband or my ex-husband. Oh, yes, they're always harder when kids are involved. Exactly. It says, I am not allowed to make independent plans, and I never could. If I wanted to do something, I had to ask his permission at all times. Can I do this? Can I go here? Can I go there? And 9 times out of 10, it was, no, I don't want you doing that. I don't want you around that person. They're this, they're that, whatever the case is. And he didn't like them. Yep. I'm not permitted to have alone time. Oh, my stars. He would go out drinking every weekend, but I couldn't go anywhere. And I never drank. Never drank. I didn't either. I didn't go to any family gatherings with him. He wouldn't let me. Says I'm not encouraged to spend money or time separately, and I didn't. What I did do, though, is steal money from him. I am so guilty of that. I stole money when he was drunk because my baby needed diapers, and he wasn't giving me money for diapers for that child. I was not going to let her go without diapers. The solution says on Psalm 62:7, my salvation and my honor depend on God. He is my mighty rock and my refuge. Exactly, survival mode. Back then, I didn't have any bank account. I'd cash a check and give him all the cash, and he was supposed to pay all the bills, which I found out later he did not do that, and we lost the house that we tried to buy. All right, loss of confidence. This right here will fit a lot of people of loss of confidence. I lose confidence when I'm told the decision I made is wrong. I am so guilty of that. I suggest something and you tell me that doesn't, let's not do that or whatever. All of a sudden, my low self-esteem comes, my confidence drops. I'm like, okay, won't do it. I feel uncomfortable when I'm told my memory is wrong. I don't want to say uncomfortable. I feel like I'm stupid. What do you mean that's not the way it happened? What do you mean? As a child, I see things differently than I do as an adult. And I feel stupid when I'm told that my perception is wrong. Oh, I always feel stupid when someone tells me I'm wrong. And here's another one. My current husband does this to me, and he doesn't mean anything by it. He says, do you know, now I have to back up. I am so directionally challenged. I know how to get my husband back and forth to work, and that's sometimes about it. You tell me to go to the coast, and I have to go, okay, so I have to picture it in my head. How do I get there? Do I know road names? No. My husband, on the other hand, he knows everything, right? And he goes, okay, go down Perrydale. What's that? Well, you know this, blah, 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 right? No. And then I feel stupid because I don't know what he's talking about. Not because he's making me, saying that I'm stupid, but he's trying to get my memory going. I just like, I hear you. I hear you. So that's loss of confidence. The next one is loss of identity. Right? So you're controlled by the manipulator's personality or power. I am consumed by the actions of the manipulator. I am consumed by what the manipulator wants and desires. And I am consumed by what the manipulator threatens to do. Now, my ex threatened to kill himself, and he told me that if he did, it would be on my head. His blood would be on my hands. I hear you. Mine did the same thing. And then you have the loss of objectivity, which makes excuses for the manipulator. They don't mean to act that way. Oh, my stars. I don't know how many times I would apologize for my ex. I am so sorry he said that. He really didn't mean it like that. Anyone can relate to that? I'm so, you make excuses for them because you don't want to look bad in somebody else's eyes. So you make excuses. I'm so sorry. He didn't mean it like that. He meant XYZ. And then, of course, my ex will, nope, I meant exactly the way I said it. And you don't apologize for me because I'm, just going off on you, right? Oh, man. So they don't mean to act that way. They can't help being that way. They aren't really bothering me. And here's one that I really hate. That's just the way they are. No. So if I went out and I murdered someone, that's just the way I am? I know right from wrong. Everyone should know right from wrong. And if you don't know right from wrong, you better get some help. Just saying. So here's a question and answer. The question says, how is my dependency misplaced if I am being manipulated? The answer says, if you assume you meet all the needs and fulfill all the expectations of someone else, then you are depending too much on yourself. You are taking the role God alone should have. Likewise, if you assume someone must meet all of your needs and fulfill all of your expectations, then you're depending too much on them. You are putting a person in the role God alone should have. So let me ask you this question. Do you think brainwashing can be a form of manipulation? Yes or no? Yes. So do you think that there's a difference between, let me ask you this. Is there like a verbal brainwashing and emotional brainwashing? Do you think that those two ways could be ways of brainwashing people, is verbally and emotionally? Yeah. Had it. Lived it. All right. So verbal brainwashing, intimidation, implying that your failure to comply with all demands, attitudes, or beliefs of the manipulator will result in severe consequences. If I did not go along with my ex, if I did not do what he wanted me to do, I was punished physically after everyone was gone. I don't know how many bruises I had, but they were covered up with clothes. Indoctrination, repeatedly implanting messages contrary to your presently held values. He wanted me to have a threesome, and I knew that that was wrong, and I didn't want to do that. He wanted to sleep with my baby sister. And instead of kicking him out, I kicked my sister out and told her not to come back. I thought I was protecting her. What I was really doing was protecting my marriage that really shouldn't have happened in the first place, but oh well. Discrediting, belittling your outside family and friends who disagree with a manipulator. I don't think I've done that. I may have and may not remember, but I really don't think I've done that to my family and friends. Maybe. I don't remember. Degrading, engaging in name calling, insults, ridicule, and humiliation. Oh, I am so guilty of degrading. Anyone else? Anyone else have done any degrading? Which is engaging in name calling, insults, ridicule, and humiliation. I'm guilty of that. Or how about this one? Labeling, claiming that your thoughts are childish, stupid, or crazy. Me. Now, I will tell you that I really firmly believe that there are more than what June Hot has in her book. Yeah, neither did I, sweetheart. I said lots of nasty things to him. But that's just what June Hot has here. So I can't give them actual names of what he has done, but he would make me say and do things that I just didn't want to do. Otherwise, I'd be hit or I wouldn't have food or whatever the case was. Now we're doing the emotional brainwashing, isolation. Oh, he did a great job isolating me from my family and friends, depriving you of all outside sources of emotional and social support. But you really shouldn't, though, because as a mental health advocate, calling people names could really hurt them and make them do things that we don't want them to do. I'm not a fighter, but if I'm being yelled at by anyone, I will yell back. Oh, I am a yeller. Oh my stars. I learned that at an early age that we yell all the time. And I still yell if I get my back up against the wall. Guilty of that. But yeah, my ex would isolate me. He would make sure that I couldn't spend time with family or friends. The only real time that I had anyone else to talk to is when I had a job. And he wanted me to have a job because he wanted me to pay all the bills so that way he could stay home and take care of the kids, which I thought, hey, that's okay with me. He cooked, he cleaned, the house was spotless. What I didn't know is what he did to my children, the damage that he had done to them emotionally. Oh, my stars, it just kills me. Just kills me now. I didn't know. I didn't know until after I left him and the kids told me. And you talk about shock. I was horrified by all the stuff my 3 children told me that he had done to them. And I asked him, I says, why didn't you tell me? You know what my children's simple answer was? He's my dad. Just thinking about it makes me want to cry. Whew, he's my dad. She's my mom. He's my dad. He's my uncle. How many times has someone done something to a child and they don't say anything because that's their uncle or that's their aunt or that's their mother or that's their father or whatever the case is? Some relative or family friend, right? Another emotional brainwashing is excessive compliance, militantly enforcing trivial demands. Oh, he did that all the time. Oh, here, I hate this one, ignoring, withdrawing emotional support, but later denying that they had, or they blame you and say it's all in your head. Yes, exactly. Do not ignore me. I don't care who you are. Do not ignore me and never, ever lie to me. Never lie to me. Don't care about anything else. Don't lie to me. Don't ignore me. Okay, don't hit me. Exploiting, using you or someone else close to you for self-interest or gain. My ex would have me, I'm going to say my sister. My sister would buy Mary Jane from him, and I did not know. I had no clue he was dealing. None. That is how closed off I was from all of it. I had no idea until I left him. And then it all came out. And had I not left when I did, we were being watched by the police and I could have lost my kids, my sister said. Long story on that one. Moving right along. So, what is the root cause of manipulation? Let's find out. So, here's a wrong belief of the manipulator, right? This is a dog eat dog world, a survival of the fittest world. Therefore, I can't trust anyone to meet my needs. If I don't take control of the people and circumstances in my life, my needs for love, for significance, and for security will never be met. No, I don't want to say how they were raised. And here's the reason why, because I was raised abusive. Should I go and abuse my children because I was abused? That's how I was raised. No. You learn right from wrong. And if you don't know right from wrong, some do, but it's their choice. When they become adults, it is now their choice to choose how they want to treat people. So let me tell you a story. There was this drunken father who had two young boys. The mom had recently died, and he would get drunk every single night. Every single night he'd get drunk. Ignore the children. When the boys got older, one turned out just like their father, drunk every night. Didn't have a job, landed in jail several times, just like the father. The other boy became successful, never touched a drop, became rich. But they were raised by the same person. So why did one choose one way and why did one choose another way when they both lived the same house? You ask that question to those boys, and both boys go, I did this because of my father. So one chose to become like his father, one chose not to become like his father. We all have choices. But here's the thing. Why did the father get drunk all the time when the wife died? Because he didn't know how to live without her. And he was trying hard to numb the pain of losing his best friend. And he didn't know how to do it without her. So he chose to get drunk every night. And when the children got older, they didn't know the story until later. And so one chose to be financially rich and secure, and the other one chose to be a drunk like its father. I mean, two boys, same household, different choices that they made. Correct. Now, here's the right belief on manipulation, on manipulator. Oh, my stars. It says, God loves me sacrificially and has promised to meet my needs. Therefore, I will love others with his love rather than use others in an attempt to gain the love, significance, and security only God can give me. Now, I want to take that one step further and say, if I knew, and I'm going to use Matthew as an example because we're friends, if I knew that Matthew was a billionaire, we'll say, and I became his friend because of him being a billionaire, and I wanted to use him for money and stuff like that, would that make me a manipulator? Yes or no? I wish I identify as a billionaire. Exactly. Would that make me a manipulator? Yes or no? Yeah. And most billionaires, they want a true friendship, and they're like, oh, well, you need help here. I've got money to help you. I've got money to help you. And then finally they're like, why am I doing this? That's all they really want me for is money. They don't come around just to chit chat. They come around because they're low on funds, or their car broke, or they couldn't make their house payment or whatever, right? And then they go ding, 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 and they leave the, yes, like me for me, don't use me. Exactly. All right. Here's another wrong belief on a manipulator. I must have the approval of others in order to feel good about myself. I don't know. I kind of believe that's kind of true for the manipulator, but it says it's the wrong belief of the one. Right belief of the one manipulated. Oh, wrong belief of the one manipulated. Sorry. Right belief of the one manipulated. I do not need the approval of others because God accepts me totally and loves me unconditionally, and He alone will meet all of my inner needs. Right? So, who wants to hear some steps to solutions? It says, what goes around comes around, and the sad saga of the manipulative patriarchs and their descendants continues. So, the tangled mess of manipulation ensnares and traps all who seek to please themselves or others rather than God. So, here's they say some key verses to memorize is Galatians 1:10 for the one manipulated. Galatians 1:10. Am I now trying to win the approval of men or of God? Am I trying to please men? If I were still trying to please men, I would not be a servant of Christ. This one is for the manipulator. 2 Peter 1:3-4. His divine power has given us everything we need for life and godliness through our knowledge of Him who called us by His own glory and goodness. Though these He has given us His very great and precious promises, so that through them you may participate in the divine nature and escape the corruption of the world caused by evil desires. So June is giving us scripture now for her solutions. I don't have solutions. I am still trying to learn all this, but I'm just telling you what I read in the Bible, or the book here, excuse me. I'm not here to push anything down my throat. You do not have to do any of these Bible scriptures. I'm just telling you what's in the book. And I am not rewriting anything. It says key passage to read is 1 Thessalonians 2:3-8. It says, for the appeal we make does not spring from error or impure motives, nor are we trying to trick you. So 1 Thessalonians chapter 2, verses 3-8. And then they have what's called the biblical model. You have the appeal, which is without error, without impure motives, and without trying to trick anyone. I was raised to trick people. I was raised to pickpocket. I was raised to think of me first. Me. Because no one else is going to have my back. No one else. There's no one else out there that I can lean on to give me moral support, spiritual support, definitely not financial support. And I have been raised to be a manipulator as well as be manipulated. That's how I was raised. When I finally left my ex, I didn't have any money for counseling. And I did not know that all I had to do was, and this was all new because, computers just started coming out. I did not know that you could Google for free services. I don't think they had them back then. I think they do now, but I don't think they did back then. So I went to my local Christian bookstore. I bought a Bible because he kept my family Bible, which really still ticks me off, by the way. I bought me a new Bible. I bought a book on what to expect before marriage, what to expect after marriage, the 5 languages of love, and how to be a single parent. I'm not perfect. I will tell you that I'm not perfect. I hope that I am dependable to you guys. I hope you know that you guys can reach out and I will respond as soon as I humanly possibly can. Now, if I'm in the middle of something and I don't respond, please don't take it to heart. I'm not ignoring you. Either I don't have my phone, I'm in the bathroom, you know, certain things, right? Maybe I'm doing something like grocery shopping. I have my phone off most of the time. I don't hear it. Then you have the appealer, which is approved by God, trustworthy, and trying to please God, not men. Then you have the method of appeal. And again, all these are in 1 Thessalonians 2, chapter 2, verses 3 through 8. The method of appeal is never use flattery. Matthew, you're such a handsome man. You are just so hot. Just joking, guys. Don't use flattery, especially if it's untrue. Don't put on a mask to cover up greed. And don't look for praise from people. I don't know, and I'm guilty of this. I don't know if anyone else is. I'll put something on. I'll ask my husband, how does this look? Does my butt look big in it? Do my boobs sag down low in it? Does it make my hips stand out more in this? I hate to tell you, girls, most men don't care. And they'll tell you they look beautiful no matter what. But I'm guilty of that. And then you have the basis of the appeal, verses 6 through 8 on it. Not burdensome, but gentle, based on love, and includes personal sharing and involvement. Yeah, well, I still have a problem with what people think about me. I really do. I would rather have someone hate me for the truth than hate me for a lie. I would rather have someone come to me and say, "Oh, I'm gonna use Matthew here again. Matthew's good at being used." Sorry, Matthew, I'm using you. If I heard something about Matthew, and I'm like, he did what? He said what? No, really? Oh God, I can't talk to him now. I can't stand for that. This is my morals and my ethics and what he did to you. Oh my stars. I just can't, I can't do that. So I end our friendship, right? Is that the best way to handle something like that? It's happened to me too. That's why I'm using it. No, you go directly to the source and say, in this case, again, the example, not true example. Hey, Matthew, I heard X, Y, and Z about you. I don't know if it's true or not, but can we discuss what I heard? Of course, he may ask me who told me, and I'm going to say, I ain't telling you that part. Because that would just create a whole new chaos that I really don't want to happen. So if you hear something, go direct to the source. If you say something and if you don't know it's true, shame on you. Just saying. Shame on me too, especially if I believe you. Okay, so the last part talks about how to turn away from manipulation by trusting in God. Yeah, exactly right on this app. How to discover your own manipulative maneuvers. So let's see what this one. Oh, here we go. These are yes/no questions. Have you ever been told you are manipulative or controlling? Yes or no? Have you ever been told that you are manipulative or controlling? Have you ever been told that you are too possessive or confining? Possessive, yes. Confining, no. Have you ever been told that you do not take responsibility? I haven't been told that one yet. Oh, here's a good one. Have you ever been told that you're nicer to others? Yep, I sure was, because I was nicer to one than my ex. Oh, here. Oh, I've been told this one so many times. Have you ever been told that you tend to overreact? I've been told that. I overreact. How about this one? Have you ever been told that you have difficulty admitting when you are wrong? I'm learning on that one. And I have been more forthcoming about I am wrong in that and I am sorry. Ooh, here's a good one. Have you ever been told you usually insist on getting your way? That was a tactic my ex would always use. You just want your way. I don't know why I can't do things my way. You just want your way. I never got my way. Oh, yes, you do. That time when what? You know? Oh, have you ever been told that you use anger or blame to motivate others? Have you ever been told that you use anger or blame to motivate others? Blame, I did. I blame them for like ever. All right, the next one is, have you ever been told that you have difficulty putting problems on the table for logical discussions? No, but I've been told that I hold grudges a long time. And I'm guilty of that one, unfortunately. Have you ever been told that you have a destructive style of interaction? Nope, not me. And then it goes into scripture about how to say no to manipulators. If this is something that you guys want, I highly recommend the June Hunt Manipulation book. It goes into a lot of scripture, answers to some common questions about it, all biblical. So that ends that discussion here. Last week, I asked that you guys close your eyes and I do a EMDR. What's what I'm looking for? I don't want to say trick. It's not a trick. It's counseling thing that was taught to me. Has anyone done that since on their own? Does anyone remember last week of me telling you close your eyes and take a deep breath? And so I told my counselor that I did this last week, and she was like, that is awesome. That is great. And so she gave me some more to work with you guys through her, and she's fine with it. I probably should have asked her first before I did the first one. So this week on Monday, when I had my counseling session with her, oh, my stars tint up. So this week she had me picture a light, like a very warm, welcoming light. So I would close my eyes and she would have me picture this light. And for me, I pictured like the sunlight coming down. Do you guys know how the sunlight just comes down? And it's almost, to me, it's almost godlike. I can't explain it any other way. It's like this beam of light comes down, and all I picture is like these angels that are going up, and there are people, who have died or whatever. They laid back, and it's like their whole chest and body goes up, and the rest of your body is just so relaxed, right? Yes, sun rays. So I pictured that in my head, but I still don't get the full effect of everything that she asks me to do, and I'm working on that. I don't know if it's because I'm not relaxed enough. I don't know, but we did like a what do they call it? So you have the butterfly tap. That's a butterfly tap. So you cross your thumbs and you do a butterfly tap, because sometimes we need to hug ourselves. That inner child needs that hug, right? And I don't know about you, but I really can't put my arms all the way around. So she says to do what's called the butterfly tap. The other one is the monkey tap. So it's just doing this, right? Um, what I told her I do is I put my hand right here and I've got to feel my skin. Not that I'm trying to be sexual or anything perverted or anything like that. It's just this is my comfort. And then I tap like this. It's almost like I have a baby and I'm burping the baby, right? The other one is take your hands from your thighs and rub them down to your knees and back and forth and rock with it. You know, I have a rocking chair, so I do it there better. And you just do that. That's another thing that you can do to help soothe you. What was the other one? I don't remember. But she had me, picture that. And if this is something that you guys want me to do, please let me know. If it's something that you would like for me to do with you guys of what she is showing me, I'd be more than happy to do that. And I'd leave more time because right now it's at the end. So let me close my YouTube real quick and then I'll get back to you on that. So for you guys here, I want to thank you very much for being here, watching this. And please remember, you're not alone. God loves you and so do I. And please leave comments. Please hit the like. Please make sure you subscribe. And look for me again on next Friday. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great night. So let me end this.